Hey everybody, I just did this video and I didn't like it, so I'm redoing it. We had decided originally when I was pregnant with my son that we were going to circumcise him. And the reason for that was actually personal. It was my problem with the way that the uncircumcised penis looked. Now, society kind of only presents circumcised penises. It was all I had seen except for 3, and they did not look like, because since I've done a lot more research on the subject, and turns out that there's many other looks of uncircumcised penises, so I had nothing to worry about there, especially when my son was born and he was perfect just the way he was, and that was not a concern at all. But I thought that if I had a problem with the way he looked, he would pick up on it and then have a problem with the way he looked as well. So our plan, was entirely based upon my fears, and that's probably something that shouldn't be a motivator, or should not be a motivator at all anyway. So we had contacted a doctor because insurance doesn't pay for it, and found out that he wasn't to be anesthetized at all, no pain medication at all. So our child was going to be laying there strapped to a board, naked and screaming and scared, and cut upon, taking off a rather large piece of skin from him and forcibly, cutting off the foreskin from the glands without any kind of pain medication. So that was motivator enough for us to decide that we weren't going to circumcise him. And like I said, the minute that I saw him, he was just beautiful anyway, and it didn't matter that I had been worried about the way he would look. He was fine and perfect just the way he was. So he's a very confident 3-year-old little boy now. That's never been a problem. The only problem we've ever had is he retracted himself just a little bit by playing with it. And we contacted drmama.org, and they got us in contact with a doctor online who told us how to treat it and what to do, and it was healed and fine within 24 hours. He had no more problems urinating, because that was a problem. It had stung when he peed, and then he decided he didn't want to go pee, and he got a little bit of a bladder infection, but it healed up pretty quickly all on its own. So that was our decision, and I think that there is a lot of information out there telling people about what it's like and how awful it is to circumcise your son. I didn't educate myself well enough. I decided because I found out after the fact, and I am so glad, we are so glad that we never circumcised our son. I was reading earlier today a mainstream idea of circumcision. It said that 1 in 3 boys have to be circumcised later in life anyway, because of the glands not retracting or not coming off completely from the foreskin. I don't know if that's true, but the numbers certainly seem rather big. That doesn't seem right, so I don't think that's correct. It also said that there is no actual proof that sexual activity is better if you're circumcised or not circumcised. I don't know about that either. But I don't know that either of those things should be major motivators for you. If you have to have your son circumcised later in life, at least he has some say in what's happening to his own body. At least he's able to understand. And I do believe that they anesthetize them once they're older. I mean, if your kid's a teenager, I think they actually give it to them instead of making them endure the whole thing. But, that's different. I think that would be acceptable if your son had to have it as an older child, rather than forcing them to lay there strapped down and then cutting part of their genitals off. So you know, this is, of course, everybody's own personal decision, and you're in the situation that you're in, and nobody can judge that. But I would say that if you can, and you have, you know, not services, but the means to research and find out for yourself more about it. Anybody who knows about the pain that a newborn is going through, I would assume, wouldn't do that to their own child. I hope that you don't. Anyway, we have a happy and healthy 3-year-old little boy, and all has been well so far, and hopefully it stays that way. I wish for you guys the same thing. Have a happy day. Bye.